great. Well,
Thank you.
yeah. Understanding's sort of like the door. It's not the light, but the understanding, you know, you can open the door and then there's the light. Yeah. Hopefully you don't get stuck with the understanding. Just, yeah.
I catch you. I catch you.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's misunderstanding, really. So again, in duality, misunderstanding, the tonic for that is understanding. But again, like the old story with the thorn in the foot, you know, you don't replace the first thorn with the second thorn. You use the second thorn to remove the first thorn. So the first thorn's like misunderstanding. Second thorn is understanding. Like let's call it a non-dual understanding. You use that, and then to take the other thing out, and then that's the end of your job, so to speak, in a way. And then there you are. Yeah.
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 And then being aware of all the old habits who sometimes flare up, and hey, I'm not that, you know.
Yes, and they're gonna flare up. I mean,
oh, yeah, for sure.
you know, every strand of what they call them in Buddhism, you know, I think it's the skandhas, right? There's all these aggregates that get together and they comprise what we call the self. Yeah. So we're really about, you know, we're like 5, 6 water currents in the water, and then yet we're called something else. Yeah. And those aggregates or skandhas what produce this dreaming, this experience. Yeah. And so obviously you know, if you look at it as 2001, HAL has gone off the rails, you know, the computer running he was supposed to assist the humans in the mission. He's sort of taken over the mission, and yeah, he locks the humans outside.
Oh, okay, now okay.
You remember in the movie 2001? Yeah.
No,
he won't let the human back in.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's sort of like if you know, as an event here, something grew to sort of be like a dog to watch your house. Yeah. And then the dog starts barking at everybody, even your friends. And then it starts barking at you. So you're basically now yeah, the dog has become the master, and it's seen a lot more to its job than you thought its job was. Yeah. So now you're sort of captured by what seemingly was going to protect you. Yeah.
I've recently been going through the whole Dhammapada explained by Rajneesh, and that is quite some discourses. But the way how you explain it is so simplified. It is so boom, straight on, you know.
Yeah.
No confusion possible. Beautiful.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, those books that would distill something. You know, when you wanted to study and you wanted to cram, you get these books about the topic. Or I'm like, The Bastard Child of Evelyn Wood, speed reading, whatever. I remember when people that I met earlier a lot wanted me to sort of talk through the Course in Miracles, yeah? And so one night I attempted to do it, and it just seemed that there could be so much wording cut off and just, you know, sell the meat, you know, sell the cod. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of fins and scales that, yeah. Yeah. So.
You can put on the most beautiful, profound things. You can put an awful lot of words, and the whole beauty is lost, and the simplicity is lost just because of the words, you know.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, the head likes to, it likes to arrange the flowers.
well, I needed some arrangements, I tell you.
Yeah, I still love, there's a segment by Huang Po, I think in the book, The Teachings of Huang,
No.
where he describes mind in about 2 paragraphs, the big M mind. It's quite
Mhm.
beautiful. That's quite beautiful. Yes, very credible. I wish I had it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful take on the big M mind. Yeah, yeah. So are we ready, Bill? Anyone?
I think so.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't see anybody new that I know.
all right. Well, yeah. Well, here we are again. I think the title with this is "Who's to Awaken and to What?" Yeah. So this is sort of the speed reading where you don't even have to read. So that's nice. So fundamentally, like we were sharing today at the recovery meeting, a guy was sharing very clearly, and people get to a point where they're watching what arises, but usually they don't see the arising of the watcher, so to speak. Yeah. So they watch the fear and the tension and this and that, and there can be a lot of clarity around that. But there's someone got in the room already, which is the watcher. Now, I felt it was much quicker just to see the watcher, that there isn't one. Yeah, because there's a lot of meaning given to what's arising from what it seems to be arising to or for. Yeah, much more so than, because the things that arise are really inherently empty. Yeah, they're given meaning. And so, yeah, why would you want to get like, if you could see something before it came out of the oven, why go crazy at the supermarket saying there's no, fucking pastries? Yeah, just see the first sense of that you that is observing or watching what's coming up in the moment. I don't see there's anything before that. Yeah. Yeah. So the watching is everything's arising. Yeah. Okay. Now you want to get clear about what's arising, but the watching, which does not arise. Yeah. The watching does not arise. The watching is the state, is the space. Yeah. With no beginning or end. Yeah. But what does seemingly arise is the claiming of the watching and the formation or the presentation of the watcher. Yes. Now, again, you can see a lot of stuff super clear, and you may not see that. Yeah. This is why it's important for an understanding to be shared. So the same event that is happening where we all are, you can see maybe a segment that seemed to be disguised or obscured. Yeah. And by seeing that segment, it explains a lot about what comes after. Instead of trying to arrive to that point from knowing everything that comes after, to see the after from this before, to me is it's like speed reading, so to speak. Yeah, it's just you may get to the same point, but it's a lot different. Yeah. So, I got stuck on this, and I haven't been unstuck for a lot of years now. It really came to the point where I felt if we don't see this, we're going to be looking from it. So, and it's a drag to have to constantly try to convince the looker that it's not the looker. It's so much easier to see through the looking, the arising of the looker. It's just it's much cleaner. Yeah. To try to convince the looker it's what it's looking for doesn't work, I don't feel, in a way. But to see it from what's looking, yeah, that works. Yeah. So. And as long as there's a need for a reminder, there'll be books and satsangs and whatever. Yeah. And even when there isn't a need to be reminded, there'll be books and satsangs. And you may enjoy the association with truth. You may realize that everything you've ever entered, you wanted to win and depart, but maybe you just like this energy on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I may not want to build a car, but I may want to hear car shows. Yes. Yeah, I sort of liked it. No, you shouldn't. No, I feel it's fine. Yeah. So I've been to a lot of satsangs, obviously. I must need them. I've been to thousands. I got that. I'm not going to get it through satsang. So it's very, very simple. Feel really. The topic is so unique is because you're it. Yeah. And that's the reason or the explanation for all the other conundrums. Why you can't experience it is you're it. Why you can't get it is because you're it. Why you can't lose it, which is great, is because you're it. Yeah. Why you can't find it, it can't be lost. Yeah. Which is cool. And so it has a basic answer to every other sort of confusing thing that comes when we're trying to get it through the mental logic. Yeah. Because the mental logic gobbles it into something it can understand. And the beautiful thing is, no matter how the mental logic choose it, it's going to go down right through. It's going to give you nothing. You can chew and chew and chew and try to super understand and read every freaking ancient text, and it's still going to give you nothing. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. Why? Because sooner or later, if you keep getting stunted or defeated by looking for it, maybe you'll see what's looking, or there'll be a sense of I'm that finally. Yeah. Not as Paul, but as that. Yeah. And then you can enjoy, like we had Venice, instead of in Italy, we had it in California the other day. So it was nice. Some nice people from the talks and from the Italy retreat showed up. It was a very beautiful day. So, if you have any questions about the understandings and the misunderstandings, just fire away. Yeah. It's not saying that I have an understanding. I just follow something that's come through, and that's what you're going to hear. Yeah. We were talking about it today at the recovery thing. In recovery, they present the no way in a dualistic way, really, which is to see the failing of a life trusting finite self, this feeling of being the doer and the one that's going to get and the thinker and all that. Yeah. And then being completely, in a way, convinced of the futility of that, then there's the trusting of the infinite. Yeah. So there's a migration of interest and attention from the obsessive idea of being the doer, the thinker, the feeler, the taster, the toucher, and then it migrates, and then you'll find out, you'll know the tree by its fruits. Yeah. You'll sense that it's sort of like a wind. So when you're young and you see the tree, the leaves moving, you think it's the tree. The tree's moving the leaves. Yes. But obviously it isn't. It's the wind. So the wind's blowing the leaves, and then it produces an effect, or you feel the wind. You never see the wind. but you feel it quite a lot and you sense it and you can see its effects. And then this becomes an intimacy with the wind. Like, I like wind. I like it when it's windy. I like what the sound it makes. I like sticking my head out of a car like a dog. I like those things. Now, I can't see that, but I have been under its effects quite a lot. And there's an intimacy around it. Yeah. Well, this is sort of like the sense of presence in a way. We're like the fish that has hit a point where it starts getting the water finally. You know what I mean? Ding! It's got the water finally. It's awakened to the fact that it's completely drenched. Does it mean its drenching just started when it woke up? No, it's always been drenched, but it's starting. It's getting clued in, and then what happens? The fish travels lighter. Yeah. The water didn't get lighter. The fish travels lighter. Yeah. So this is what's happened with me. There's like a strong basis of contentment and satisfaction. Then irritation may come in. Like today, someone the other day, we were driving back home from Southern Cal, and I used a bathroom at a very nice place called the Staff of Life in Santa Cruz. And I took the phone out of my pocket and I put it on the side where they have the toilet tissue. And I said, don't forget the phone, but I did. I walked out, but it came back about 5 minutes very quickly. And so I went back to the bathroom and it was gone. Yeah. And I said, how, and it wasn't on the urinal. So it was a special room. Yeah. Not everyone's going to the bathroom to take care of it. Yeah. So then I did the whole thing. Yes. And so left a note, called the phone, girl, Amelia, it rang twice, no one picked up, then called again, and went directly to voicemail. So someone needed the phone, took the phone. So what does that bring me about? I have to go to T-Mobile, or T-Mobile as they call it, to get and I had to get another phone. Yeah. And so you walk into T-Mobile, and T-Mobile has its own time vortex. Yeah. When you enter there, you're not getting out quickly. Yeah. Even though it's a simple chore, you're going to be there for a few hours probably. So I walk in, and of course, this is always what's happened. I called the person because I was on a business thing. They released the phone. They said, oh, everything's going to be easy. We get there. No, they have to almost like appear like on a Zoom to verify it's them so I can migrate my phone number. And it goes on for 3 hours, yeah, like usual. And it's like, you walk in and then things that are easy or hard, yeah, goes for 3 hours. And so it wasn't 3 hours of embellishing, but it was like that. I'm sitting on the phone with someone and I'm going, okay, there's 10 digits I want to migrate from my own, this other account to this account, 415-724-3714. So I'm going, the first 4 must be very heavy. They're trying to migrate it. Then the one, very difficult. Then they have to take a break, and then you're on, the music, and then 5, is, it went on and on. How hard is it? So what is that? Is time uniform? No, it's completely based on us, yeah? And if us goes into a certain situation, time creaks along. And then the solutions aren't solutions. Like our solution to you is to buy another phone. what happens if it doesn't work? You can't return it. I said, well, that doesn't sound like a solution. So it's just, it goes on, yeah? Yeah. So the head, well, I don't know where I was going. I just wanted to, I try to avoid those places like the plague, really. And so I got sucked in by the phone getting lost, and then this, yeah, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. And I mean, I just want a phone with my number, yeah, yeah. So I started getting cranky, I think, there. And then I started giving them my stories about, I parked in front of Target and stayed there for quite a while. And the people I counted going in, I counted less people coming out. And I believe that Target is where aliens go back to their planetary system. Yeah, because who would look for a fucking alien in Target? Yeah, so I was doing this with the guy, and he actually picked up on it because he had worked for Target. And he said, what we did is if someone came into Target and they didn't buy anything, we kidnapped them and made them work in the back. And they had a big Target that went on and they tranced them out. I will work for Target for free. Take no coffee breaks. Sell, sell, sell. So there, whatever. Just a little bypass there. So this message is much easier than that. Yeah, it's much easier than that. How much easier could it be? It's right where you are at all times, always available with no requirements necessary to be it. What is there to truly get over? The desire for what's irritating you to disappear? No, you'll learn to cohabitate the space. Yeah. Do I have to reach no thought to be at peace? No, just see them as not yours. And you can be quite at peace when thoughts are running. You can. Yeah. Do I have to give up everything? No, you don't. You'll give up what's necessary. Yeah. And you're not going to be the one who writes the give up list. You will be informed of what's going on. And if this needs to be streamlined, it will. If it ain't, it doesn't, it won't. Yeah. And there'll be a migration of interest so strongly that you won't remember the migration of interest. Yeah. I know the day it happened to me. You forget about days. You forget about a lot. Yeah. And you become like childlike once again, literally. You're just fucking here. Just like when you were playing, when you were a kid, I didn't go home and ask my mom, was Billy playing better than I was? There was no fucking thing going on. I was just there doing what kids do. Yeah. That's how the day goes. This wasn't produced by effort. It's disarming. The effort had its value by leading you to this point where there was a giving up, let's say. There's no you giving up, but there's a giving up. All the faith and trust you've had in that which isn't faith, you know, that which isn't reliable has dried up, yes? That drive to be there to get it or to have it, yes? So, yeah. I want to read something if you don't mind, eh? This is from Huang Po, some of my old favorite things. When people hear the mind's teaching, big M mind, yeah, they get excited. They think there is something to be got. They then fervently engage in this or that practice, thinking that they will get something. Unfortunately, they do not see that their own mind and the things they expect to find are one and the same. Really, one and the same, no thing, not thing. If you use your mind to try to get something from mind, you will never achieve anything ever. Though you practice like this for billions of years. Wow. You can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. The premise is you're the Buddha, not as a 5'11". Yes, yes. That's the premise. Okay. Just give up your notions of unenlightened and enlightened. I would say just give up the one who has those notions. Yeah. Because the notions are going to appear. They're not yours. If you get introduced to spirituality, ideas of enlightenment and unenlightenment are going to arise, that you have nothing to do with it, but the seeing of it. Yeah. You have nothing to do with it. If it's sort of like if you were dropped into a baseball stadium at a baseball game, you'd be suddenly going off on statistics and ERAs and hitters and shit like that. Yeah. It's just the way it goes. So just give up your notion of unenlightened and enlightened. Then you might recognize that which is here to begin with, it's yours. Then you might, can't read my own writing, eh? Just give up your notions of unenlightened and enlightened. Then you might recognize that which is here to begin with. Yeah, you see it? Seeing in time and space is looking. Yeah, it has a movement that blocks it from seeing in a way. The looking is a blindness to the seeing, yet the seeing is the looking. Yeah, but the looking is the blindness to the seeing, yet in the looking there's the seeing. Yeah, when the looking has been seen as a pointless endeavor, always based on really failing, then suddenly the looking stops and there's the seeing. Yeah. But while it's being directed and moved and focused by the small m mind, it's disguised as you looking, but it's actually the seeing. Yeah. When it gets exhausted in that propulsion of you looking for whatever, enlightenment or anything, when it gets exhausted or it gets paused by life, or you hear a message and it's like stopped by an aha, there you go. Exactly right there, as it's always been, is the seeing. Yeah. So it's your crazy thinking that is your biggest impediment. You hold on to all kinds of distorted ideas and compare one thing with another without end. Your thoughts furiously chase after all kinds of things, just like mad hornets stirred from their nests. There is no such thing as illusion. Illusion is itself illusory. It's only there because you have invented it, and you haven't invented it, the head has. Yeah. This is where I go against how it was translated with the wording. I don't believe you've invented anything. I don't. There's no you to invent. There's an invention that implies a you. Yeah. So here, it's only there because you have invented it. If you would simply give up your dividing this from that, you would see that what seems to be divided is not. Yeah. And in this case, you don't have to give up the dividing of this and that. Just see it's not you that's dividing this and that. Yeah. It's even easier because I was confronted as a you with this idea of just give up dividing this and that and try it. It doesn't work. Yeah. Because the idea of you is this and that. This and that can't give up this and that. It just doesn't. So we're sharing an even easier way. Just see it's not you dividing things, not you giving it this or that. Yeah. You can hold that understanding. Yeah. You've held the other understanding. I've got to give up this or that. That didn't work, did it? You just changed that for this. It just went this for that, that for this. It didn't go anywhere. Take another step back. Yes. You're not going to step into the void. Take another step back. There's a sound, reliable platform. And now you can see from what you are, what you're not. Yeah. You are not that which has divided things. You are not that which is going to unite things. Yeah. I think a lot of translations were by people. Yeah. And so they added that personal identification as, okay, the only necessary course I have to take for all this incredible stuff to occur, I have to stop doing what I can't stop doing. Shit, that's even worse. It's right. I can almost taste it. But, and if you read the old Zen, you're always seen as the big obstacle. Yeah. Like when you read Faith Mind, it says, oh, everything would be great if you could give up your opinions. Have you ever, if you've given up an opinion, you basically acquired another one. There's very rarely you're caught opinionless. Yeah. So, oh yeah, the truth is so sublime and easy if you stop thinking. All right. So then the thinker hears that, okay, the only way it's going to be anywhere it's good is going to be, I have to be in the no thought realm. It's like you set up the lottery to lose, really. Yeah. So this is just a step back. What would happen if, like the Course in Miracles says, it says it this way, firm in faith in this something else that you've made to be yourself. Okay. Wow. Another fucking thing to be guilty about. This something else, this ego or this self that I've made to be myself. No, just this is the easier, softer way. Okay. Firm in faith. Yeah. In this something else your head has made to be you. Yeah. So give up that responsibility. It's wonderful, really, because you're not going to climb this mental mountain. You're not going to, you are a thought. Do you think a thought is going to occupy no thought? You're a thought. Yeah. So whatever statement that sounds like an order, so to speak, just take a step back and see I'm not that. Yeah. Just as a suggestion. And after a while, recognize, is there an ease and comfort not coming from effort, but before it? Because now you're becoming disarmed. You've lost interest into trying to unite what's divided. You do. You lose interest in it. You see, it doesn't work. It's not going to happen because you're divided. Yeah. You're a dualistic expression that's hoping to become singular. Yeah. What are you before that dualist expression? Maybe that which you're calling singular. Is the dualistic expression yours? No. You're seeing it. Yeah. You can even be moved by it. You can seemingly be defined by it. But when that which is defined by it, you're not that. Hallelujah. Yeah. So now you find peace, the peace of singularity, while dualistic activities going on. Nothing needs to stop. Just see who's there that believes everything needs to stop. That's what stops. Yeah. Instead of becoming super clear on fear and shit like that, just become super clear there's no one who has the fear. Yeah. So because believing that you're super clear on fear, that it's going to lead you to fearlessness, then the first time fear kicks up or anxiety, you're disqualified once again. You have failed based on your own requirement. There's a step back, a real disarming. Yeah. And when you seemingly fall back into it, it's always been available at all times, just as it is. It's unbelievable, really. And it's going to war with the this and that, going to war with this, going to war with the ordinariness of a day and seeking a dazzling enlightenment. All of this is the obscuring itself. It's an activity. Now, yeah. It's not going to stop. You just see it's not you. Yeah. And then all the requirements it makes you beholden to, seen as you, are dropped. You recognize there's no, you're not waiting around for no thought for 50 years. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Now you just have a contentment and satisfaction now. Yeah. The winner of the race is a loser in a level. It always is. Yes. The one who believes they achieve, they also believe they can lose or fail. It happens all the time. Yeah. You take a step back when you read something out of the Course in Miracles and it seems like it's describing you. You just say, I'm not that you, it's describing. Yeah. And then the relaxation they used to suggest while doing this lessons, you'll be in that relaxation. I mean, a deeper core type of relaxation, not relaxation like my muscles aren't stressed or anything, but a core relaxation. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, who's running the ship? Oh, Bill. Oh, Bill, he fell asleep there. That was good, Bill.
No, I was entranced with what you were just saying. I could have swore it was just like me and you sitting in a room and you were telling my autobiography so much there, describing everything along the seeking and journey and beliefs and everything. Just, yeah, I was kind of entranced by it a little there.
Great, great. Well, I'm telling you, the best boat is a rudderless one. So, and that's send bitch slap to the core.
Yeah.
No one's driving the bus. Get on with your, at your own peril. Well, great. Anyone want to share?
Lucas has his hand up.
Hey, Lucas.
Hey, Paul. There we go. Lower hand. So I haven't had any questions since I thought I understood what you're saying, but I did have an experience I'd like to share with you. See what if you can expand on it. So I asked a question: who am I? What am I? Really, a lot. And so where I've gotten to with it recently was, I can see the mechanisms work in the system inside, and I can see that that's not me. It's different coping mechanisms and aspects of my personality. But there was, I asked the question to myself, who am I? What am I? And then it kind of like stalled out and went to this place of, well, that upper capital S self me, is that alive? And I answered it really quick in my head. I answered it, and the answer was no, it's not alive, it is life. And then I kind of just sat there with that for a second, like trying to process it. And then kind of, I don't know what to call it besides self-awareness or spontaneous awareness occurred, and just this other answer came and it said, no, it's not alive. It's what's there before life. It's what's there after life. Life only exists because it is there. It's the being of the whole thing. Then I was like, you know, I live in the universe. I am part of it, and I am it itself too. So I'm it and inside. I'm inside of it and it all at the same time. It was interesting because the way that I described feeling that was I'm an addict, and there's this void inside that's always sucking in, never able to fill it up. Well, this one was a different type of void. It was a more of a, I would say black, but it was just without color, and there was no movement, and it was very still. It wasn't pulling in, it was just, you know, and that was that, I don't know, it was a kind of it wasn't anything that I could put into words. It was more of like a imaginary experience. So just wanted to.
Well, you know, Lucas, I don't know if this will capture it, but I noticed in the past mostly things, there would be a big like ripple, yeah, and then I would be aware and notice its effects the next few months, yeah. Yeah, like I remember when I used to do a tour talking, you know, like 12 days and stuff, and then the last day I would feel like a momentum, and then yeah, and then I would just forget it, and then I could recognize its effects as the months went on. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So I think a lot of potency can be delivered in no time, yes, and when it translates here, you can recognize it's being the source of a lot of eruption, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. So like no time comes through and translates into time. And you can see the effect of something that you seemingly have done 3 months ago, and it's still producing effects. Yeah. Yeah. So you go under one of those, basically your role is over, and then you just observe what happens. Yeah. Yeah.
The interesting part of it, listening to you and thinking about that, how I was going to word it beforehand, and I was just allowing what you're saying to bounce around, is just that, you know, I like to think that the real big message in there was I am more than life itself. And that to me doesn't really even carry any weight. As in importance, the more important thing there for me would seeming to be this, just having faith, letting go of answers and just letting the thing go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not needing the answer. And that's what happened at the end. That's the only reason that last little bit slid in, is because I said, oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's when what is defined rubs up against the undefined. Yeah. Humility ensues. Yeah. So you recognize, like in a deep way, of the limitation. Yeah. Yet it's very freeing because because you're not that. Yeah. But in that one point in time, it could be a bummer, but it's really a hallelujah. Yeah. Yeah. So people call it like dying to something, but I don't think there's a something to die to. But you know, I think there's a lot of things that are already known, but there's an unwillingness to arrive there. And then when you arrive there, there's always such a relief. Yeah. Because what we're by the constant obsession with us, there's a withholding of this space to something else. When that something else moves in, it's quite moving. Yeah, let's put it at that. Yeah. Now I don't have that much anymore after talks and stuff. So I think more of it got, yeah, all the like the lightning bolts and the earth shattering things that used to happen. It's just quite ordinary dog shit awareness, but it's, yeah. I would have completely forgot it was a topic unless I had the seat assignment. Seriously. It's like, well, I remember when I hit a point in sobriety and I was away for a few months and I came back and I was talking to my girlfriend at the time saying, you know, I just don't feel like I identify with the people in the room and everything and shit like that. I don't think about this shit anymore. He says, that's what you have to offer. That's what you have to offer. Yeah. 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 So nice to see you, Lucas. I'm happy we've met and walking the road of happy destiny. I may need one of those motorized walkers that sooner or later. All right. Thank you. Anyone else, Bill? You running it?
There's no hands up right at the moment. Oh, there's one. Lisa.
Thanks, Bill. Hey, Paul.
Yo, Lisa.
Yeah.
Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Great, thank you. Yeah, I love listening to you tonight. Going back to the idea of, you know, you just lose attention, lose interest in, you just lose interest. You lose a lot of interest in a lot of divisiveness, and of course you know that there's no way you can be contributing because there's no you. So yeah, the holidays are always crazy, and that's when all the family divisiveness comes up. And noticing that it's like, you know, the family wants to draw you in and you won't do that because there's no you to be drawn. It's almost like it pisses them off.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And so today I was talking to my son on the phone and I said, you know, he's like, this is very complicated. This is a big deal. This is a big family problem and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's not complicated at all. You're making it complicated. So, you know, it's time to write me out of the script. I love you all, but I'm not doing this anymore with you guys. It's just crazy, Paul. You lose
That's
attention.
that's why we were driving on Thanksgiving.
Say again?
We were driving on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Amelia and I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, underlying dynamics, yeah, cast a thick web. Yeah. So
they do, and there's
people
just,
don't want you to change a lot. Other people, and it's you too. I mean, I remember the last people that noticed I was sober was my family. Yeah. Because they had an idea of me that had been tattooed, so to speak, with ink. And so I gave up the idea that they were, you know, they were going to see the new me. It didn't matter really. Yeah.
yeah.
And, yeah.
It's an interesting
See, but I started to go to weddings for my family, and I realized my older brother and sister died, and they had kids. So I would see their kids at these events, and no one saw me. They just saw their father and mother in me, yeah, because we had similar features. I had nothing to do with the wedding whatsoever. It was very clear to me. I wasn't going there. I was just there as a trigger for them to remember their mother and their dad. Fucking great service, yeah, and some nice food. Shit like that, you know what I mean? It was super clear it wasn't about me, because they kept telling me it wasn't about me. They said, "Oh, you look just like my dad and everything," you know? So, you know, it made, when I was thinking it was all about me, I could not bear going to those events. But when I started recognizing it has nothing to do with me, I'm not saying I'm not the me, just nothing to do with me at all, then it was easy, very easy, yeah. And I found some joy in it and stuff.
Well, that's how this conversation was feeling. Over there,
I'm sorry, I had to open the door for the cat.
I guess I was just saying, the conversation with my son, I was just noticing it, whatever was going on over there that was seemingly so upsetting, really, it didn't have anything to do with me. And I was just there performing some sort of a service for him to be able to be upset with. And it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. And normally it would have been really triggering and upsetting, and oh my gosh, I got to set this straight and got to defend and blah, blah, blah. But no, it was just like, okay. You know, and at some point it was just like,
see, I've never walked in your shoes or Amelia's. I've never had a biological kid or anything. So
yeah.
Even more of a dynamic, yeah. So I can understand the event on a principled level, but I don't know what it feels like.
Sure, I can understand. And
yeah,
it
can imagine.
It's not any different than any kind of relationship, really. It's at the end of the day, they're all basically the same sort of thing. But the lightness around it, and no story afterwards, no, you know, clearly there's upset, but
we're losing you a little. Am I losing her, or is everyone losing her? Everyone's losing her. Yeah, it's not coming through clearly, Lisa.
Okay, it's not that great. Thank you. I love you.
I love you, honey. You are, yeah. I see it as a great blessing you've shown up at these talks. Yes, and in Italy. Yeah.
The blessings here as well.
Well, you spoke in another language from Venus. Good. But I got it. Yes. Venus love. All right, Bill, anyone else we got there?
No one has a hand up so far.
I'll just say something real quick.
Yes.
Zoe.
So yeah, talking about the disarming, it's like it's like I only notice things when something happens that like the character would have had a totally opposite reaction before, and that happened, I guess, yesterday. Okay, so you know, I live in Arkansas, which is a big hunting state, and I used to have this you know, real opinion about hunting, because I didn't grow up with hunting, and, you know, and then all the Buddhist stuff I studied is like, you know, oh, you shouldn't kill and blah, all this stuff, and very judgmental. And then one of the kids in my class came in and walked over to me and was showing me this picture of this deer he killed over Thanksgiving, you know, and they take a picture standing next to the deer, and he was so proud and so excited. And it was like, wow, just like none of that reaction. And it was like, look at fucking that. There's no more reaction to that. It was just, oh, he's wanting to connect, you know, just share, you know. It was just absolutely cool. Like, I don't think I'm going to take up hunting, but you know, that whole just traveling lighter, and it just happened on its own. You know, before, when I was always trying to change myself, and
Yeah.
and then it just happened. Just what? Yeah. So yeah. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
Zoe, the
share.
funny thing in the traveling lighter, you don't remember your traveling lighter most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're the worst reporters of the traveling lighter because they're busy
Yes.
traveling lighter. So there's
Yeah.
very few reports and detailed descriptions of what it feels like. It's just you lose interest in all that. You
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. 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 And it's just like I said, when something seemingly reminds me of what the reaction used to be, then it's
Yes.
like, oh, wow.
Exactly right. You get like public announcements of
Yeah.
demonstration, but basically, yeah, the the frequency is, and
Yeah.
just doing whatever. And then every once in a while, public announcement, traveling lighter. Yeah, it's true.
It's
It's
so
true.
true.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can imagine if you would try to, start like a daily blog. It would be,
There's nothing happening.
there's really not much to write it about, Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's a terrible. I was hearing, it was funny. Well, I didn't want to go into it, but yeah, sometimes people that are seemingly full of themselves, they can go off, really. And there's some poetry in it and artistic expression, but it's really, on and on. And the thing
It's
is,
heavy. It's heavy. Yeah.
yes, I see things that I would have called like 10 people about 40 years ago. Every day, now I realize they're not interested in it anyway. So
Yeah.
just sort of, it's like you're not taking any souvenirs on the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, it's true. You're not. There's a gusto in not trying to grab all the gusto.
Oh,
Yeah, you just sort of, yeah. Life is
Literally.
something that escapes every day. It's just
say that
moving.
again. Life
Life
is
is something that escapes every day.
constantly. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you said, time, days, whatever. It doesn't
Yeah,
have
so
the same
the
sense.
beautiful things, the not so, yeah. Everything disappears in the rearview mirror, so to speak. Yeah. It's the traveling lighter is truly built in because it takes a lot of effort for a while to stay bonded to things that are just falling off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just basically doing what we're doing, day in and day out, and a lot of shit just gets blown off.
Yeah. Yeah. It does. Yeah.
It's
It
cool.
does.
I'm
Yeah.
enjoying not remembering that I enjoyed things. Tell me, did I have a good time? Yeah, like the Italy thing. I felt a very like a bouquet of presents, but I didn't have any. I can't. Yeah, there's nothing I can grab there. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Super cool. Thanks, Paul.
Nice to see
You got
Zoe.
another client.
Oh yeah.
Deborah has her hand up.
All right, Deborah, and then that'll be it, I think, after Deborah.
Okay.
Yeah. Deborah, what's going on?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. I was at the. No,
We're not hearing you well either.
oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait a minute here.
That's a lot better there.
I think because I have my big speaker. Let me turn that off.
Yeah, no, we can hear you now, hon.
Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, that metaphor was very helpful for me earlier today. And it does help me to kind of sense the difference between what you were talking about earlier today about having faith in the infinity and the finite, the difference between that. It's starting to occur more. There's just to explain a discernment or whatever, a sense of it's a lighter feeling when whatever that is a download sort of kind of compared to when self comes up with ideas, you know what I'm saying? That when self thinks it knows what it needs, whatever.
Well,
And
self
the difference in the wind.
self doesn't come up with anything. Self is
Right, that's what I'm saying.
is
Yes.
implied by the ideas being claimed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So in other words, the ideas.
Yeah, it was really helpful.
Oh, with the wind thing.
Pouring on. Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
What? we lost you, Deb.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes. Let's say, Deb, you know, there's electricity. You can get a 110 or a 220, right? Yeah. Now both
Mhm.
run through the same insulation, the same wire.
Mm.
Yeah. But they're different, obviously. If you plug something in that's built for a 110 into a 220, it's going to stress it or blow it up. Yeah. So something's
Mhm.
moving through us. We're like the insulated wire, yet we have sentience. So the wire can sense the current that's moving through it. Yeah. It can come to some,
Mhm.
it may not know it, but it senses it. And probably the sensing of it is a higher form of knowledge than knowing it, really. So there's a sensing of it. So or like a trumpet that's been played by different musicians. But let's say the trumpet was sentient, then it could tell by the playing what was playing. Yes, it would have an intimacy with that which was playing through it. Yeah, it can't see it, but it can tell, it can sense it. Yeah. So in the recovery paradigm, it's a very dualistic expression. It's basically saying you're going to be directed by either two forces. Yeah. But you're going to be directed as an action figure. Yeah. You're going to be played like a trumpet by two different breaths. One is finite self and one is infinite. Yeah. And the idea of the finite self is us as a noun or as the thing that we're appearing through. Yeah. So now the trumpet thinks it's playing the music. It's the player of music. No, it facilitates the music being played, but it's never playing the music. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So something moves through and you can intimate it after a period of time, hopefully, because you're sentient. You're not 2 levels below a coconut. So there's an intimation. And now let's say there's an intimation and then there's a leaning towards, there's no choosing, but a leaning towards the 110 or the 220. So now, like someone said earlier, you lose interest and and actually you lose interest in the attention because you are the attention. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm not interested in what the attention is doing most of the day because I am the attention. Yeah. Yeah. And so the
Yeah,
interest has been lost in the mental, and therefore there's more interest in the infinite. And the interest and attention is what you're interested in. You are the attention. Yeah. You don't have attention. You are that. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
This is a
Yeah, and
way of looking at it.
said, yeah, what you just said about not knowing when you're traveling lighter, that's it right there. And then
Well, that's
it's
traveling.
like,
That
yeah, that's what
lighter
I'm
is
saying.
you're traveling lighter. Just like
It's-
humility, the person who's in humility doesn't know they're in humility.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's what's so amazing. And it only, that me only comes up when I think there's a story around a hitch. Like the selfing does a story about what it thinks a hitch in life, but it's, you know what
Yes.
I'm saying? It's
Yes. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to stop. It's, so
going along its day, you know, and just doing whatever, and it's right there cooking or whatever, and then every once in a while it pops up with, but it's being recognized quicker now.
well, that's
It's
cool.
like
That's cool. That's another aspect of traveling lighter. You recognize heaviness. Yeah. I think you're frozen, Deb. Or you finally,
Yeah.
it finally happened.
I think she is frozen.
The eternal
That-
pause has occurred. Wow. If we could just do that on Zoom, that would be great. Eh?
That was the final word.
Oh yeah, well, actually, this is what we did the other day of where the third eye met the crown chakra. Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
check it out. I'm gonna actually demonstrate it live. Yeah, yeah. Hold on. I don't show this to any people. You have to be very clear to recognize this. Ready? Here we go. They bonded. The third eye finally entered the crown. See, I can only hold this in this world for 5 minutes, but just suck it in. See, bring it in, bring it in. It's my personal gift to you impersonally. It's sort of cool, eh? I found it at a thrift store. I didn't know they had these things. It connects the third
you could
eye,
have a
crown chakra. Yeah. I feel exactly like I felt before. What happened? Yeah, Deb, that idea of to me, the description of something blowing through you or moving you like a wind is the most intimate one on the experiential realm as the action figure. I totally grok the idea of surrender and recovery. Yeah, where you're just not managerial quality. And you're basically being used for transportation. And what really matters ain't the car, it's what's driving it. And so recovery gives you two possibilities. Yeah, the finite self or the infinite. Yeah. And if you ever stop the finite self on the road to give it a ticket, you'll see on its license, it's the infinite, masquerading as the finite self. That's why you can't become it, you are it. All right, well, I've had enough of this today. I gotta do something that's meaningful, like, cleaning my room and stuff. I need to see some tangible results. Now, I'm really happy that you put up with me. Thank you so much. And I just hope this tree shakes out for you. Yeah, just so that you feel more, a sense of contentment and satisfaction that's not generated through effort or thought. Yeah, just it rises of its own, and yeah, we'll be there available no matter what you're not going through or going through. Yeah. And then you can share the empathy and compassion of this journey, but not be of it. Yeah. 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 And just have a nice, Tuesday night having satsang. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you. I'm going to take off. We're going to say goodbye to everyone. Bill Churchman, thank you for jumping into the host role. John, it's a pleasure. I haven't met you yet, John, but I probably will. It's nice to see you. Yes. Yeah. Kathleen, I've had the pleasure of meeting, and same with Bill. Very nice. Lucas, Lisa, yes. We got Esther, kindness. Yeah. We got Lisa J. I hope all's going well, at least a little bit lighter. Yes. It seems bright right where you are now. Yeah. You're bathed in the light. So we got Esteban. It's a pleasure to see him. And Deborah. Nice, always nice to see Deb. David B. We got Zoe. Let's see. We have Mia. There she is. She's got her Cossack looking thing. Getting cold in Santa Cruz. Where is it? San Diego. Nina. There she is. We got Andy W. Yes. He's a forest amongst the trees. Looking we got Susan K, my latte lady. Michael Sherman. I don't know. I have met Michael. Haven't you? Haven't I met you before, Michael? No, I feel like I have.
We're compadres. Haven't met, but.
Oh, good. Fantastic. Good to be a compadre with you. We got Erin and Tobias. Nice to see you too. Yes. Thank you. I think I've got everyone here. Anyone else? I think that's it. So again, all the Zooms are on zenbitslap.com under events. That gives you all the information. I think there's no passwords. Just come on in, and it should be steady for a while. I think we're going to Mexico in February, and that's about it, just for a few days. We'll put